Well, good afternoon. I'm with Mark Mead, and he's a doctor up here at LifeTree Natural Wellness Center, and I'm so privileged to be here with you because it's been, I think a couple months when I came up here, and I was just like beside myself with all of the symptoms I was having. That was I was so confused as to what it is. In fact, at one time I thought I had mold toxicity, and I insisted that my landlord send in somebody to check the air. And he came in and he did this big inspection and took an air sample, and then he told me that my house, my air is surgically clean. So then it was like I had to go searching for some other answers. And being a stage 4 cancer survivor, the first thing you think of is, oh, I've got cancer again and it's spread to my bones or my brain, because I had so many symptoms. One of the main symptoms I was telling you that I had was brain fog.
Right.
And brain memory loss, just cognitive decline. I mean, literally feeling like out of this world, feeling like I'm not remembering anything, my mouth isn't connected to my brain. Another thing, just fatigue. I don't know, I had the gamut, inflammation.
Sure.
And so by the advice of yourself and Swanee, I went on a detox.
Correct.
And in less than a week, I saw amazing results.
Right.
And I have continued to see amazing results. One of the things that I did have going on that was really chronically debilitating, and you guys have seen me in that, is my migraines.
Yes,
Now,
I
I thought these migraines were probably something related to my menopause. That's what I'm thinking. But because they're gone, and they've not come back, and I'm talking about shooting pains in my head.
Right.
Like my temples, and like pins and nails in my brain. I mean, literally shooting pains, and just chronic pain to where I'd get in bed and feel nauseated with a migraine for like 2 or 3 days.
Well, Charmaine, as you know, when a person starts to have symptoms, they are prone to chase symptoms. And that's a real problem, because you might be chasing a symptom that isn't located where the symptom is.
Right.
You might have a tummy ache, or you might have a headache, or you might have gas or something like that. And none of those are necessarily in the location where they originate.
Right.
And so when we start to talk about a detox, the number one thing is that you want to stop detoxifying.
Right.
You want to stop getting
The
that.
source.
You want, if you're smoking and you know that that's causing you problems, the very first thing you should do is stop smoking.
Right.
And so we want to encourage people to stop whatever it is that's causing the toxification. But after that, then what we want to do is we want to start to eliminate some of those toxins from the body.
Right.
And those toxins can cause huge symptoms. A person who has a slow digestive system can have headaches simply because when things start to putrefy in the colon, then they can send those toxins into the body, and those bodies can respond in a symptom.
Yeah.
And that might be a headache. It might be, a tummy ache. It might be leg and feet aching or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But, those toxins can create that. So the very first thing that we want to do is stop toxing. Then we want to start an elimination program that will eliminate those toxins out of the body. And we always recommend a colon cleanse first. And the reason we recommend the colon cleanse first is because when we do a colon cleanse, that is the avenue of many other cleanses to get those toxins out of your body. So we want to make sure that the avenue is clear. And so when we get that avenue clear, then we can move on to other areas of detox. And so some of the things...
Well, I just want to interject here because I had to look at what I was doing.
Okay.
Okay, what was I doing? What was the root cause of some of this? And the feedback I got from y'all was chemical pesticides, residues, and toxicity.
Sure.
And so I'm like, what am I doing? Well, one of the things I've been doing is, because of my budget, I haven't been doing organic. And
Okay.
I'm up here in the Arctic Circle, basically, and I don't have access year-round to fresh organic food. And so I have been eating non-organic food.
Okay.
The other thing I was doing is I just have like bumper crop of apples up here.
Right.
And these apples have, they have pesticides on them. And I went in online and looked at the Washington apples in inspection, and I was just shocked to see literally hundreds of chemicals that they find on the apples. And here I'm thinking I'm doing my body good, the more the merrier, and I'm just juicing those little babies all day long and drinking
Sucking
that
down
apple
the
juice, and I'm
poisons.
sucking down that poison. And I'm telling you, I was getting so debilitated. My stomach was bloated. In the morning, I could barely get out of bed.
Right.
I mean, I am just pulling myself out of brute force, you know, to move and walk forward. So
So the
I
very first thing you need to
recognized
do
was stop eating the apples.
That's right.
And switch to organic foods.
Right.
And so I have done that. And I haven't done it exactly perfectly with every little thing, but as much as possible, I try to eat organic food now. And I've gotten rid of the apples, I have to tell you. In fact, I haven't had, I don't know, a couple of apples in the last 2 months because getting the organic ones are rather pricey. So.
Right.
Anyway, I've also gone to eating more of the clean things. So you've
Sure.
got your dirty dozen and you have
Right.
your clean 15. And so I've tried to eat more off of that list as well. So I stopped the insult and
Right.
the abuse, which was those pesticides and chemical
Exactly.
residues. And then I did a detox.
Okay.
While I'm putting in that high octane nutrition from healthy juices and good raw food and other food.
So then you did the colon cleanse,
Mm-hmm.
and how did that go?
I think I got a pretty clean colon.
Okay, okay.
That's something I'm pretty good at.
Okay.
You know my background,
Yes.
so that's not a problem with me. But doing the products, I have found just an amazing benefit and improvement. So much so, I've wanted to tell other people about it.
So what did you move to next?
Okay, I started doing the products, and I found that this intestinal cleanse formula and the things containing the humics and the fulvic minerals and the SuperGut formula that
Okay.
helps to, reculture the gut microbiome, that I found these very important. And because I was chelating and I'm doing more green juice and that type of thing, I added the SuperOne food as well
Okay.
to really
So,
remineralize.
so when we first start, we're going to start with this product here,
Right.
and this is a lot of the motility herbs. So it's going to have some Cascara sagrada, it's going to have
Right.
some senna, it's going to have some fiber and things like that, and those are important to keep the bowels moving.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because, for instance, I had a lady come into the office one day, and she said, "I have migraine headaches." And so we started through a questionnaire, and I said, "Well, are you regular?" And she said, "Yes, I'm regular." And I said, "Well, define that for me. Tell me what you mean by regular." And she says, "I take a laxative on Friday, and I have a bowel movement on Saturday."
Right.
And I said, "Honey, that's not regular."
Right,
I said,
right.
"You should have a bowel movement every day, at least one, maybe two." And so many times we want to get that bowel moving so
Right.
it's regular, so that you're having a bowel movement every day. So none of that stays in you for a very long period of time. So that's what we use this product here for. Once we have you on a regular schedule, then what we're going to do is we're going to put you on to a colon cleanse, and it's more about the high fibers. It's going to have apple pectin in it, it's going to have psyllium, it's going to have humics in it.
Because
So
many people don't know about what humics is, and these products are different than your typical cleanse.
Correct.
I've done many cleanses, but these are like bar none, very elite products.
So the humics is a ancient plant-based mineral and nutrient, and it not only feeds the colon or in the body, but it also detoxifies. And so it's really important that's in there. Whenever you start to detoxify things, you need nutrients, you need minerals, because minerals grab a hold of toxins and they help to get out of your body. If you don't have those minerals, then that detoxification process can deplete those.
Right.
Okay, so we want those to be in there. The other thing that's in here is bentonite clay and charcoal.
Right.
And so when you take a lot of especially bowel cleanses and like that, and you break off a piece of that fecal debris or what have you that's coming out, then that could be reabsorbed. Well, we don't want it to be reabsorbed. We really want it to be sucked up and eliminated. And the activated charcoal and the bentonite clay are just that. That's what they're there for. They like those toxic debris, and they'll suck them up and they'll eliminate them out of your body without you being able to reabsorb
And
them.
I have to say too, it's pulling it out of my blood. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
obviously it's pulling things out of my brain, you know.
So yes, and when you get those things out of your body, they are no longer producing toxins,
Right.
and those toxins can make you very sick.
Mhm.
So then we look at the superfood, and the superfood is everything you need to build beautiful red blood cells, to carry oxygen, to carry nutrition and things like that. And it has lots of, it has chlorella. and it has
Moringa. I know that it does have the moringa. in it.
Moringa, right. So those things are all going to help you to build good cells and good blood cells. And when you have good functioning blood cells, everything seems to work better.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now differentiate that from another cleanse that might have like 40% nutritional yeast in it. You know, some of these more tastier blends, you know, this has, it's better for you, huh?
It is better for you, and
It's not neurotoxic.
It has no neurotoxic. So a lot of your yeast products, especially when people have a slow bowel or something like that, they have a tendency to have candida or yeast type of funguses in them, and those other ones would feed that.
Right.
And so we do not want that to occur for a person.
So leave off those yeast products that
Correct.
have those mycotoxins in them
That's
that
right.
have their own problem of toxicity.
Very,
Okay.
very true.
These tinctures are very helpful too as far as addressing detoxification of the organs, especially if there's an Echinacea tincture, which is kind of just supporting the immune system.
So we want our immune system to be functioning correctly.
Right.
And Echinacea is one of those products that
Right.
allows for the immune system to function correctly and not over functions.
Right.
That we would want to do is a liver gallbladder flush or cleanse. And the reason for that is because the liver has over 2,000 functions that it does in any given day. Okay,
Right.
so it's going to help to detox certain body fluids or blood or several things. It's also going to help to make those functions like turning glucose into glycogen and glycogen back into glucose. So
Right.
a person might have a tendency to, if they haven't eaten in a while, have hypoglycemia, their blood sugar is dropping.
Right.
Well, it's a function of the liver to take that glycogen and to turn it back into glucose so that
Right.
they don't get hangry.
Right.
You know, they don't get angry or their
Right.
blood sugar doesn't drop too low. Other functions might be to produce enzymes or to produce other kinds of cofactors and things like that. All of those have to work. If the liver isn't working, those things don't get done. And so to the degree that they don't get done, the worse we feel. And so the next organ that we want to clean after the colon, because it empties into the colon, is our liver.
Right.
And because it is a very vital organ for our body and for our good health. Now, once we've flushed all these things out, you know, some of them are going to wind up in the blood and
Right.
in the lymph system. You know, if we have a cell that creates apoptosis or it dies,
Right.
then the cell debris all has to be taken care of. Many times it winds up in our lymph system or in our blood system going to the lymph system. And so we want that to be taken care of. We don't want it to be stuck there or to create a traffic jam in our blood or in our lymph. And so this is something that helps both of those to encourage getting rid of those cell debris or toxins and things like that. And so very helpful. When you start to get rid of allergies, we want to erase those antigen markers off of those out of your blood so that you're not having the same allergy even though you're not susceptible.
And detoxing tea helps a lot with that then.
Yes. So this goes well with the liver detox because it has a lot of the same, it has a lot of the nutrients that are beneficial for the liver itself, like burdock or dandelion, milk thistle. Those things are all very beneficial
Strengthening to the
for the liver. And
Yeah.
so it's good to do that in combination with the liver detox.
Okay. One of my friends during this whole cleanse was a pre and probiotic, the SuperGut Flora, which I found to be such a blessing.
Yes.
I mean, my stomach had been bloated and I had a lot of gas, and I mean, this stuff just really it was a lifesaver to me.
Okay, so pre and probiotics are really essential. You cannot digest without a prebiotic. And to define a pre and probiotic, it is really where they are located. So a prebiotic is located in the small intestine, and a probiotic is in the large intestine. And so when we start to look at pre and probiotics, we use the prebiotics to digest the food. We use the probiotics to eliminate the debris. Now, when we start to talk about digestion, we also need enzymes, and many times a person doesn't eat enough raw foods, and these raw foods have their own enzymes. But if we are eating mostly cooked foods, then what we see is that these foods are deficient in enzymes.
Right.
The nice thing about this this pre and probiotic is that it has both the pre and probiotic and the enzymes in it, so because those are big constituents of you digesting your foods. If you don't digest the foods, you can't assimilate them. And you know, the old saying, "You are what you eat," does not apply anymore.
Yeah.
It is, you are what you assimilate.
Right.
Okay, and so if you are not assimilating, if you look back after going to the bathroom and you see undigested particles of food, you haven't gotten anything out of those. And so you really need the pre and probiotics in order to digest well, and the enzymes, and this has both of those in it.
Now, you had originally given me the elementary beet pee test. Remember that?
Yes,
Tell
yes.
people what that is.
So when a person is tuning up their digestive system, you want to make sure that you have all the constituents to digest food. And so one of the things that we do is what's called a beet test. It doesn't cost much more than just the beets themselves, and you can either eat them or you can juice them and drink the juice. But what happens is when you drink them, you should digest all of that. After you've eaten them, if you've ever looked back after eating beets, one of the things that you may notice is that your bowel movement is red or pink or something like that. Okay?
Or your urine.
And it can be in your urine. But if you are not digesting that, that's the color it turns. If you were completely digesting it, you would not have a color change. It would still be brown. Okay? And so that's a good indication that a person is low in hydrochloric acid.
Right.
And so the acid in your stomach is important, and it serves two purposes. Number one, it keeps out outside invaders, and these outside invaders can be in the form of bacteria or something like that, but it also starts the digestive process, and it breaks down proteins. And there are other enzymes that do that also, but the acid is part of that. And if you don't have enough acid, then you're not going to break down that protein right, and it's going to wind up coloring your urine or your bowel movement.
Right, and when I first tried that, my urine was very pink.
Right.
And now I can do that and not see the color change. So
Right.
I know there's been another.
So she's tuned up her digestive system.
Right. And another way I know that I'm assimilating my nutrients and my minerals is because my hair has been growing amazingly.
Okay.
It's like, I can't believe
And your
how
fingernails?
fast. Yeah, and my fingernails. My fingernails have grown pretty fast, but my hair is just kind of like, wow. And I've been doing this fulvic acid minerals.
Okay.
And I've seen a benefit with that.
Yes.
You know, this stuff you can actually feel the benefits of
Right.
it, I have to say. And so you want to talk to the fulvic acid minerals.
So fulvic acid minerals are highly important. Now we can get minerals from just about anywhere, but the quality of the minerals is really what makes a difference. We talk about chemistry, many times we talk about organic and inorganic, but when we talk about minerals, we can talk about whether or not they are bioavailable. So a person needing iron can suck on a rusty nail, but it doesn't give them any iron that they can use in their body. And so when we talk about iron, it needs to be something that has been absorbed through a plant
Right.
and then now is eaten by an individual. Well, these are mined, and they are old plant deposits that have absorbed these nutrients.
Right.
And now they have brought them back to the surface and put them in an aqueous solution or a water-based solution. And now we can absorb them because they've already been absorbed by a plant. And they're very bioavailable.
Right.
And so when you are sick, you need lots of minerals, lots of vitamins. And these nutrients in here are extremely bioavailable.
And I'm thinking too, because you're chelating here with many of these products, that you are going to really need to up these minerals
Right.
and the superfood and your juices, your fresh juices and your green
That's
juices.
right. Chelate means to hug. And so it goes into your body and it hugs some toxin or some waste material or something like that, some debris that needs to be gotten out of, and then it ushers it out of your body without any more further harm to you. And so many of these chelate toxins very well.
This is the HMET binder, very effective. And to tell you the truth, I was taking 2 of those in the morning, 2 of those in the evening to start out because
Okay.
I felt so highly toxic. And I've kind of weaned down to the one in the morning and 1 in the evening sometimes. But
Okay.
I'm telling you, migraines gone, shooting pains in my head gone, and I really attribute it to this whole program that I've been on.
So once you start to get some of these toxins in your body, they go beyond your digestive tract and they can get into your cells. And that's really a problem because when you take the colon cleanse, it has activated charcoal in it and bentonite clay, and those can absorb anything in your digestive system, but they can't pull much outside of your digestive system.
Right.
They're kind of restricted to that area. Well, the HMET binder is heavy metal environmental toxin binder. And so these things, it uses a zeolite, and the zeolite is something that can go to the cellular level. And the cellular level is where a lot of these toxins are stored. And so this has a driver behind it that gets it in there fast and gets that stuff out of there fast so that you don't have to reabsorb it again. But many times we find that people who have been exposed to mercury or lead or even pesticides and herbicides and things like that, because those are environmental toxins, those are the ones that we want to draw out of the body and so that they can be eliminated. And that's why this works so well. We had one lady who, she was so sensitive to electromagnetic, and we found out that when we removed some of the conductors, the heavy metals out of her
conductors,
her body, we found out that she was less sensitive.
That's amazing.
And so, and this is something, a lot of people have this deep-seated heavy metals or environmental toxins in their body, and this is an easy way to get it out.
Yeah, that are just stored in our
Right.
adipose tissue
That's
and
right.
different places in our body. And so even in order to really lose weight, we need to really detoxify because the
That's
body is
right.
going to try to hold on to that to protect itself. And not only that, if it does release it, then we have the potential of being highly toxic.
Correct. So, like Charmaine was saying, when we have toxins come into our body and they get to the cellular level, it couples those toxins with an adipose or a fat cell.
Right.
And the reason for that is because fat is a great insulator,
Right.
and it keeps it away from the rest of the body. Well, if we pull it out, we don't want it to be let go in our body. And then once the fat cells are no longer needed, then they can be eliminated.
And then they can be metabolized.
Right.
Well, I sure appreciate your time and sharing this with me because this has been a phenomenal journey and program, and I just want to share it with others. And what do you think, Doc? I know some people are taking medications, and there might be contraindications with taking some of these things that might chelate them or pull some of that out, that they really probably should continue to work with their health professional.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you can really detoxify too fast.
You can.
So people would need to really be careful and work with their health professional, but this stuff really does work. And I would say it resets the thermostat.
That's right. That's
Right.
right. And along that, there are a couple of products here that if you take them in close proximity to your medication or within a very short period of time after taking your medication, they can absorb it. So you want to be aware of that, and that can be, an issue. But by and large, these are very safe products.
Right. Well, I've had a benefit, and I feel like a new person, and I think it can be a blessing to others, and I really want to share that shout out with this wonderful detox program. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.